Come here and check this out. Most people never book a single appointment for their business, and it's not because they're bad at sales. It's because they're overcomplicating a sales process that is dead simple and only has 6 steps to it that anybody can follow, even if they're not sales or business development savvy. And when I first started my business and I was doing everything myself, I used this exact 6-step framework to book at least 1 demo call per day with a 1-hour workflow. And just last year, we just crossed 6 figures in revenue thanks to this framework. So in this video, I want to walk you through exactly how you can execute on this framework and also go on a live conversation in my Instagram where it was applied. So you can, number one, have a good understanding of all the little intricacies and details that can come up in a real conversation. And number 2, know how to execute and implement this framework yourself without any guesswork for your own conversations. So you can start booking qualified strategy calls for your business. Let's get into it. All right, let's dive into it. Quick coffee sip to start this off. And we're fully ready. So this is drawn straight from my client resources. This is an SOP to help people who have never done DMs before actually start booking calls. So it's made in a way which is very, very simple to understand. So let's dive into it right now so you guys have some context. So this 6-step framework is made into 6 steps for one goal, is that we want to go ahead and find the pain. Because once you have pain, then you can go ahead and align whatever solution or value you have as something that can solve that pain. And that's the only way you'll get somebody to hop on a call with you, is if they have enough pain, if they have the urgency to solve it, and if they believe that you're the solution for their pain. And the way that we get to the pain is by asking these questions before it. So 1 to 3. So let's dive into it, because for a bit of context, like imagine you went up to somebody at a coffee table and you're like, what's your pain? Give me your pain right now so I can solve it. They're not going to think you're crazy. They're going to never speak to you again. And same concepts apply on social media. You want to create the effect of going shopping with friends, because it's a saying from Ryan Serhant, which I love, which is that people hate being sold to, but they love going shopping with friends. And this basically creates that shopping with friends effect. So step 1 is your opener and rapport. Your goal here is to just get a reply and to make yourself relatable and to build rapport with the lead. You're not trying to inject any sales frame or qualify them over here. For example, an opener I love to do is if somebody has a fitness profile and there's photos of them flexing, I love to ask them, dude, you're looking fucking jacked right now. What split are you running? And the reason why that works so well is because it flatters them. It's a bit funny. And it's very informal. And even if they know I'm a setter, they'll still reply. That's what we've seen in our DMs as well. And the way that you move towards a more qualifying context is, for example, they'll tell me, okay, I just do push-pull legs. And if they're a PT on their profile, which is probably why I reach out to them, like, hey dude, that's sick. I need to up my game. How's the PT life going over there? And they'll give me their answer. And then I can naturally ask the next question, which is to get context on them, which is, why did you start it then? Was this more of a cash play, or are you personally aligned with fitness? I'm guiding them towards question number 4. And the thing is that the why did you start this is something you would naturally ask in a normal conversation. That's why we ask it. And it's something that makes sense to answer for the lead, as opposed to jumping straight to what's your goal and what's your bottleneck. This still feels too abrupt after building rapport over here. So once I ask why, they gave me their answer. It's like, no, I've been, I've been obese previously and I found fitness and it helped me with a bunch of issues. I'm like, dude, I really respect that. I had similar things as well. I was in the hole back in the day. I used to do nothing but drink, but fitness helped me. I wouldn't say all of that, but I would relate to what he said, right? Now, after he gave me that answer, now I can ask him, what's the goal here? And the important thing about this question is that if you get a clear goal in their response, you'll be able to position the next question, which is the one that we want, very well. Because if I say, what's your goal with it then? Is this a cash play, or is this something that are you trying to build a fitness empire here like this guy, or are you more of a lifestyle oriented person? And if they say, no, I want to make, 100K per month. I want to take over the world. Now I can ask them, what's your bottleneck then? I'm like, okay, that's your goal. Why aren't you at your goal right now? Or what do you feel you need in order to reach that goal? They're going to give me the things that they don't have. They're going to give me their bottlenecks. And this is where we can start to convert them into a potential prospect. Because after their goal, if I can ask them, I always ask them using a binary. So, got it. What's the bottleneck then? Is it a lack of leads, or is it just a lack of confidence in running through the roadmap? Notice how it's a binary, right? I give them the illusion of choice. Like, what's the problem? Is it this problem or that problem? Obviously, in this case, they're not going to say it's a belief and confidence problem that's going to hit their ego. But they may say, oh, it's a marketing problem. Or in this case, a lead problem, right? If they answer this, now we can position ourselves as the authority. Before we do that, we need to go ahead and agitate the pain, because usually what they'll do is they'll give you like a one-word answer. Oh, it's a lead problem. You want to make sure you find a big paragraph of problems and pains, because it's only then that you can book the call. If I just pitch the call after them saying one thing, it's not going to work. So I want to agitate the pain, but I'm going to by saying things like, okay, totally understand, complete normal problem to have. If you don't mind me diving deeper for context, because it's a big umbrella term, what exactly about lead gen is the issue here? I'm going to keep on asking agitation questions like that until I get a big paragraph of pain via text or a lot of vocals. And once I get that, I can go ahead and tease my value and then pitch the call. And teasing value, essentially what you want to do is you want to go ahead and tease solutions to their pain that they don't currently have, and also position yourself as the authority. And the way I do this, I'm like, okay, dude, thank you for sharing. Ultimately, what it comes down to for solving this problem that you just mentioned, when I do it for my clients, we use X deliverable and Y deliverable, but it's really important that you focus on this first. More than happy to carve out some time in the diary to walk you through how this actually looks like. Just let me know if you're keen and I can check my availability. What I've just done here is I've gone ahead and I've teased deliverables that they don't, of solutions that they don't currently have. And I've talked about how I've helped my clients. So I positioned myself as the authority. And then I told them, I can map it out for you if you want. So it's in their control over here. And if you do all these things correctly, using these 6 steps, usually you'll get a book call. Now let's dive into some actual live DMs. Okay, so what you saw there was the 6-step framework broken down theoretically. But now what we're going to do is we're going to hop on some actual DM conversations and walk you through how it looks like executed in practice. For context, this guy came from a content engager, so he liked one of my posts, and I just launched this opener because he was on a private profile. I had no context, and I said, this is like step 1 of the framework, by the way. Yo, appreciate the love and the content. No info on the page is low-key mysterious. What do you actually do, bro? And he replied, which is the goal. And he said, what do you mean? May I get some more info on who you are? I do web design based in Switzerland. So this is what I wanted. Amazing. He's now qualified as a lead, and he's running his own agency. So now I know my offer can help him. So I want to get a bit more context before I hop into the next part of the framework. Number 1, always relate to what they say, and you don't want to like force them through the framework. That can feel like they're being sold to. So I say, so you liked one of my content pieces, brother. By the way, couldn't tell from your profile whether you're a girl or a guy, lol. Hope I'm not completely off mark with that. I kind of knew he was a guy, but I wanted to build rapport and also to make sure, obviously, right? And I wanted to remove as much sales frame from the conversation as possible, so I could just make the environment feel light and easy. Again, try to create an environment where you're going shopping with friends, not one where you're trying to sell them. And number 1, I ask, do you have your own freelance business? I'm guessing, right? Just to qualify them a bit more. And he says, no worries, I'm a guy. This is my private account. And he says, yes, I do web design by the side currently with 2 friends. Now I've got enough context and I've got rapport. I can go ahead and move to the next step of the framework and begin trying to dig for pain. So what is the next step? It's why did you start? So here I ask, why do you guys go for web design? And I ask, if you don't mind me asking, of course, because I want them to feel in control as much as possible. Here he says, I like the process of it and it's more of a thing that I grew into. Okay, cool. Makes a lot of sense. And then here I pop over a voice note. And by the way, voice notes are super OP because everybody thinks they're speaking to a bot or AI these days. A voice note shows that you're human and shows that you're actually speaking to them. So I, in this voice note, ask like, what is your goal here? And then he goes ahead and gives me a very, very clear and quantifiable goal. 2 to 3K per month in the interim, moving forward to hopefully getting 10 to 15K when it's more serious. I love this. I love quantified goals because now I can really ask the bottleneck question, which is the goal of what we're trying to get to over here, right? So number 1, always relate to everything that they say. So what I say is, I guess it's tricky if you go broad. Market is saturated to the point where if you help everyone, you're competing with the big guys. But to reassure you, or answer reassurance, one of my clients offers web dev as part of his offer and he just closed 5K using a niche marketing approach. So you can do the same. What's the bottleneck then? Is it a lack of belief or is it simply a lead gen issue? Okay, just want to break this down a bit because a lot of things happened here. Number one is I reinforced the pain that they were going through, right? Because web development is super saturated. So I went ahead and reinforced the pain that they were in a saturated market, which is causing them to not have any clients, which is an assumption on my part. The next thing is I positioned myself as the authority once more because I talked to him about a client that I had who offers the same thing that he has that just reached a dream outcome that he wanted. And then I asked him what the problem was. Is it a problem or is it a why problem? So this was a very good way to slot in the bottleneck question and also insert my authority here. But something very interesting happened after I asked this. If you look over here, he goes, what can you offer me? Ha ha ha. Surely you got an offer with that. His sales guard went up, which is not something that I want, right? If I cater to what he says now, he's going to no longer see me as the authority and I'm going to lose him as a prospect. Because if I said, haha, I do consulting. Do you want any help? He's going to be like, hell no. You're just trying to sell me something. All this past conversation was a lie. What I want to do is want to reinsert myself as the authority and not cater to what he says, right? So number one, always relate to what they say previously. So he says, yeah, I'm fully on this, but the other guys don't have the same ideas. So I want to say co-founders are always tricky, dude. They got to be as bought in as you. Speaking from somebody who's gone through 2 rifts. Okay, I relate to his first sentence. Then I want to take a step back and say, dude, I don't help people unless they're actually serious and unless they actually need help. But I can only understand if I say hello first. See what I mean? My goal is to get him to agree on this. So we're on the same page. He does. And he asked me the question again. He's like, what can you actually help me with though? And now I want to say, dude, I don't even know what you want help with, all right? What is it? Let me know and we can see if we can work something out. Was essentially the crux of my message. I told him, right, I mean, what is it that you want help with, brother? Because I don't know right now. And then I re-asked him a bottleneck binary, which is it a team dynamic bottleneck that you're having or just a revenue one then? So basically, I'm continuing where we left off over here. I just had to go ahead and address a objection of mistrust. And after I asked this, he gives me an answer, revenue. But again, remember what we talked about previously. He gave me a 1-word answer. This is not enough to pitch the call. I need to have a wall of text before I can actually insert myself as the authority. So he gives me a quick answer. I want more. So I'm just digging over here. If you don't mind me diving deeper for context, what's the actual issue when it comes to revenue? And again, notice how I'm asking more of a binary question. Is it a Y problem or an X problem? He gives me an answer as well, but still too small. I need more. I need to have the paragraph. I need to have a bunch of meat and fat before I can pitch the call over here. So again, I agitate even more. And once I agitated, we got exactly what we wanted. So as you can see over here, guys, the framework is playing out perfectly, all right? And the way you execute on it is to make sure that you have what you need before progressing it to the next stage. I only progressed it to the next stage until I got the target answer, which was this wall of pain. Excuse me. So now that I got this, I can now go ahead and do my teaser line and pitch the call exactly as we showed in the 6-step framework. So how do I do this? He mentions that he's going through Ramadan right now, which is when they fast. And I want to first relate to everything that he said. So I said, hey homie, didn't know you were fasting. I do 1 meal a day so I can kind of empathize, except I drink water a lot. Again, relating to what they say all the time. And then I say, appreciate the detail. Ultimately, what I did to get results with my previous web agency plus web client I currently have, this is the dream state that he wants. And I'm tailoring it and personalizing it to him. Just posted his win on my story, by the way, is to go hard on who you were targeting and create a micro commitment sales system, which lets us sell to cold audiences. These are 2 deliverables or outcomes that he doesn't have that I just alluded to having the answers for. And I reinforce his pain because if you just do websites, which is what he's doing for everyone, which is what we did for a while, you just get caught in the hamster wheel. Again, this is what he's going through right now. Now I pitch the call. Happy to carve out a slot in the diary to walk through how it would look like implementing this for you. Just let me know if you'd be keen and I'll check my availability. Again, word for word, what we talked about in the framework. And he says, sure thing. I'm like, cool, let's run it. My Cal, drop a ping once you've booked it. I'll confirm on my end too. So It took a bit of back and forth to book the call, and we did it manual in the end, but we got fully locked in after a back and forth. But as you can see, all this is exactly what we discussed in the 6-step framework. And take a look at this to understand how to actually slot in the questions. But the framework itself will work if you apply what we just talked about over here. Peace.